Well, it is the Monday before the big event. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I got Tom sitting next to me. That's the intro for today. He's all in purple. He's not all in purple, actually. He's actually wearing a black shirt. Mm-hmm. But it goes with a hat.
My Lakers started their season, baby. Lost the first 2 games. Let's go.
I was going to say with the loss. Oh, gosh.
You know, LeBron's doing an announcement tomorrow. It's called the second decision.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, he just posted it on his
This
Instagram.
guy, bro.
So I don't know what it's going to be.
Hi, me and my son are going to take our talents out of the NBA. We're moving to China.
Imagine. That would be funny.
Oh, gosh, man, that guy. Wasn't that like 20 years ago?
Yeah, big foul up, but now he's like capitalizing on it.
Yeah, well, he's a good marketing.
Good market.
Guy. Very good marketing guy.
Number 1 market.
Well, hey, folks, I hope you're doing well. I started this off by saying it is the Monday before our big event, and our big event is coming up this Friday. This Friday, ladies and gentlemen, October the 10th, we got Dr. David Wood. That's going to be in the house. Ruslan KD and yours truly and yours other truly, the guy in the Laker hat, will be leading worship.
Let's go.
He's got a really, really good worship set up. The worship band is readying to go. Tom, you want to say a couple of things about that?
I'm excited, man. My kid woke up a little sick today, and I was like screaming at him, like, out of all the weeks.
It's not his fault.
My wife is like, calm down. I'm like, out of all the weeks you could get sick. And then like when I hear someone sick, I start feeling sick. Like it's just like a mental.
I was like, I was, what was that? I was eating something yesterday, and I kept coughing.
Yeah.
Because also yesterday I yelled a lot, because I was at my son's soccer game. And you kept freaking out.
Well, you know,
for me, sick, bro.
Yeah,
you're gonna get me sick,
but
man.
you know what the problem is, brother? Like for me, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
For most people, even if you're preaching and you're sick, it's not that big of a deal. But when you're singing, especially for a big event like this, you don't want to be sick.
No, I agree with you.
Because then you just suck. You just suck singing.
Wasn't Tomek just playing golf?
I just came back from golf. Amazing time.
You know, one of these days I need to come and play with you guys. Just so I can just beat you guys and just like clown
brother,
on me.
You have no
but
chance.
I'm gonna let you guys play for a while until like you feel confident. You're like, oh man, I'm really good.
Are you good? Are you good at golf?
And then I'm gonna come and just like rock you guys, and so you guys just feel horrible about your
brother.
life.
I'm a 3-timer. I've gone 3 times.
Yeah, I've played golf 1 time in my life.
Hey, listen, man, it felt nice putting that bag around me, and you know.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Feels like exercising when you play golf.
Oh, you know who I saw at the golf course today? I'm not kidding you. Saad, I don't know if you're watching, but these are who are the 2 guys? Not Keenan and Kel. The guys
Key and Peele?
Yes.
The comedians?
The comedians. The longer guy.
the longer guy. This guy just said the longer guy.
The taller guy. That you guys.
The longer guy. You know why? You know why he said that, guys? You know why he said that? Because he's thinking in his Armenian brain, but not just Armenian. He's Parskai brain. Because instead of saying boyov, which is what Armenians from Armenia say, these guys say yerkar, which means a longer.
Yeah.
And you translate it from yerkar.
He's a very long man.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. That's clippable.
That's absolutely clippable.
If I was actually popular, somebody would clip that. But since
hilarious.
I'm not popular, nobody's gonna get
this guy longer.
But listen, we saw him, and I told Pastor David. I said, Pastor David, it's the guy. It's the guy from the
funny guy.
Funny guy.
Hey, how funny how?
And then he's like, brother. Every time you see some guy from the same ethnicity, you think it's some actor. I'm like, no, brother, that's actually him. He's like, no, it's not. And then I'm like, all right, fine. And then he comes up to me 2 minutes later. So he's like, bro, it's actually him. I was like, yeah. And I kept staring at him, and I was doing like Persian accents while he was next to me, right next to me.
Oh.
And he kept staring at me like, who is this guy? And he wasn't laughing. It's not like he thought I was funny. He was just kind of like disappointed. And then when I found out it was him.
So it's the longer guy, not the shorter guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was interesting. You get a lot of...
Because I don't know which one's which as well, by the way. But the shorter one, he makes films, and his films are like really dark.
Yeah.
Like very, very depressing, like weirdly demonic, I would say.
Hey, listen, I think those guys are pretty funny, though. I
didn't
want to be that guy.
They have Aaron. They did Aaron.
I don't want to be the guy. I don't want to be like, hey, man, you're hilarious. Like, he was there, golfing and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he saw the I'm sure he'll do a bit on some Iranian
or he,
guy
maybe he'll see you next time and be like, hey, I got a skit for you.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
And then that's when...
just us celebrities golfing this morning.
Yeah, it was him, Pastor David, and Donald Trump.
I was like, poor guy. He's probably too shy to come and say hi. It's okay.
The chunkier guy. Wow. I don't think he's chunky, by the way.
It was nice. It was nice, though.
Okay. Hey, folks, drop a comment. Say what's going on. Say hi.
Saddest thing, I would be sad if Key thought I was dumb.
His name's Key.
Key.
How are we going to take him seriously? I hear y'all have a conference or something on this Friday. Well, hey, I saw your comment, Reverend Nick, on the Twitters, or the X as it's called, and David Wood put it up, and a bunch of people have been reposting it, and but Nick Quint said, "I plan on being there."
Oh, nice.
He's done more than plan. He's actually signed up.
Oh, Nick is coming.
Yeah, Nick's going to be in the house.
Nick's providing the apple juice, I heard.
Nick, Tom wants apple juice from you.
Seriously, Nick. I'll play Oceans if you do apple juice. I'll add Oceans.
No, you won't. You're fired.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. That's hilarious. Hey, I don't know how you guys feel. We had a very interesting Sunday this past Sunday at church. And so I was... Man, Tom, maybe a week and a half ago, I was in a conversation with some people.
All right.
And we were talking about church attendance going up and all this stuff. And then I think somebody asked me, like, what's your opinion if, like, your church attendance isn't going up? And, like, what should you do? And I said, nothing. You should keep preaching the gospel.
Yeah.
Love people. And this is predominantly because of the Charlie Kirk assassination and folks going to church, and there was a big boom that weekend, right? And so somebody asked me that question. I said, don't do anything. Like, keep being faithful to Jesus. Like, it's not a guarantee every church is gonna whatever, Like, and we've had a couple of things, but yesterday was very interesting at church. I had multiple people yesterday come and tell me, we thought there was an event happening, like baptisms happening, or like sort of. It felt like Easter to a certain extent yesterday at our church.
Oh yeah, dude! Yesterday,
it really felt like Easter. Like, and I mean that in a. I don't know whether I'm happy or sad over it. Let me just put it that way. I'm happy in the sense that people come to church on Easter and all that stuff, but whenever you are in ministry, you always want those people who come to church only on Easter for them to actually give their lives to Jesus.
Yeah, but it wasn't Easter, though.
I know, and that's what I'm saying.
It proves your point in the positive. Yeah.
And that's why I'm happy over it in the sense of it was just a normal Sunday. And we probably had, I want to say like 30 plus people that just showed up.
No relation to each other. Just random.
30 some odd people.
And guys, we're not a big church. Yeah. I mean, we consider ourselves a mega church now. Since
in our minds.
We're not a big church. We started in Arthur's backyard. Well, I mean, we restarted after COVID in Arthur's backyard with like maybe 10, 15 of us, 10 of us. And so to be hitting 100 plus people easily, that's not counting children and kids. And
that's not counting we had a bunch of people missing. Yeah,
it's big. It's big for us. For us, it's a huge revival statistically.
Yeah.
For our church,
and it's not. Vinny said well over 50 people. It was well over 50 people, bro. It was. I don't know what the communion, because we had communion, what the setup was, but well, I do know. I think it was 100 we might have had 3-4 left over.
Yeah.
So definitely in the 90s. Not counting you guys on stage because you guys had your own communion
that's right.
stuff. But what was interesting is these are people who are just coming out of nowhere and calling and texting or just showing up to church and saying, I want to come to church. And so we were speaking about this because immediately with our mindset and the way we are as a group of folks, we don't just sit there and go, wow, a lot of people came to our church. We're so happy. This is great. You know, let's get smoke machines and lasers and point them at people. We're thinking about discipleship and saying, okay, if God's bringing these people, we want to disciple them. We want to how to do that well and all that stuff, right?
I mean, there's a little bit of smoke machine.
No, there's no smoke machines. But we're not even like going out there and inviting people.
Yeah.
And this is where I started thinking about
like how God draws people and all that kind of stuff. Crazy, right?
Oh God.
When you see it happening, when you see Calvinism in action,
This guy.
it's like the Lord is just, how is it that we're not inviting anyone and they're showing up? It feels like the wind is blowing where it wishes. And anyway, sorry. You were saying?
This guy tried to sneak in his Calvinism into this conversation. I'm going to let him have that. I'm not going to
Thank you. I
embarrass him.
appreciate
I'm not
that.
going to
You're being
embarrass
kind
you.
this week.
I'm not going to come at you hard. Not yet, at least. But so we were sort of just like sitting back and reflecting on it and talking about it and saying, dude, there's something happening in people, right? And it's beyond what I would say like would be in the norm. And again, being in church ministry and having done church ministry for a long time, and you've been doing church ministry for a long time, Tom, and saying, one of the things I said yesterday was, we often pray and think about revivals, and we might just be in a revival and we're not even realizing we're in a revival. Partly because what we imagine a revival would be like.
Yeah.
It depends what you're like. And I want to like just challenge you guys, the audience who's watching, as Tom and I kind of talk about this. And so throw out your ideas and let me know what you're thinking. Is like, I read books. I don't know if that book is behind me somewhere. There.
You always say that, and then like I turn around, pretend that I can find the book.
No.
But there's like thousands of books.
So there's a book. One of the first books I read as a Christian was, I think it was actually written by Ray Comfort. It was about like most influential preachers. And I loved this book, Tom. Okay. I'm let me see. Say some stuff before I find out.
Stuff. Actually, I was gonna do a rap for people. I was gonna do a revival rap if you want me to go, but you need to drop a beat.
I don't have a beat.
If he drops a beat, I'm gonna rap for you. I'm telling you. I have a rap written down.
You do? I don't have a beat. Where am I gonna get a beat from?
It's fine. We don't have to do it. But the chat's gonna be disappointed. The chat wants to hear me rap, but it's fine. It's fine. Joel Osteen. Well, the greatest preachers of all time, Joel Osteen is number one on the list, according to Google. No. Yeah, guys, it was crazy. I turned to our bassist, who's also our elder. That's the problems you have in a smaller church. And I was like, man, look at the door. And he was like, this is as crazy as he ever gets emotionally. He was just like,
this is it.
Like he shook his
See, I was right. I was right. So, guys, this book is a really fun book. Okay, it's not 768 pages. There's no way this book is 768 pages. But written by Ray Comfort and Kirk Cameron. And it's more like biographies, right? Like they're kind of short biographies of major preachers and stuff like that. And so I read this, and the reason why I brought this up is they go through revival and so like Spurgeon had a revival, like there was a revival happening when Spurgeon was doing this stuff. I always tell people this, And predominantly because I mentioned this on my birthday, because we had Spurgeon's commentary. I have this old commentary series by Spurgeon, not in these bookshelves. It's in my house. It's about 100 years old, printed. But it's all of Spurgeon's sermons. Spurgeon used to preach on Sunday and Monday morning. The New York Times had his sermons published.
Wow.
The New York Times!
Wow.
It's part of the reason why we have Spurgeon sermons, because they would publish them. And Americans would read them in the morning. They would people would read sermons.
Imagine that.
Brother, people would read sermons. Think about that. Like, go pick up the LA Times and you're like, I'm going to go to the religious section and read a sermon that was preached by Pastor David Azizan yesterday.
Yeah.
Right? And you get into other folks. I'm blanking on names. That happened. John Wesley, Jonathan Edwards. I'm reading right now. So folks, so this book covers all those people. And I always think, like, what would a revival of that sort look like? Right? I don't know. Like, you go on the streets. For me, because I was doing street preaching at the time, I go on the streets and I preach, and 800 people just stop and listen. And then I'm watching. I actually saw Ray Comfort was at Cal State Fullerton.
Yeah, I saw that with Charlie Kirk speaking.
He went out with TPUSA. Mm-hmm. And Mike Winger was there.
Wow. Big
props to Mike Winger. He's becoming a little more political after the Charlie Kirk situation. And if you get Mike Winger onto something, man, he's going to be on it. And it was crazy because I wrote a comment and I erased it. But where Ray Comfort was preaching, exactly at that spot, I used to preach at Cal State Fullerton on that same spot.
Wow.
In the mid to late 2000s. Almost got arrested at Cal State Fullerton for preaching. And I was like, dude, there's hundreds of young people. And I was like, maybe this is what a revival looks like. Like, those guys are going to go to school, see Ray Comfort preaching the gospel, and then Saturday night, Sunday, I'm going to go to church today. Wake up Sunday and say, I'm going to go to church. And reach out to someone they know that goes to church and say, I want to come to church. And I don't know what our expectations are, right? One of the cool things about this that I was saying to you yesterday, Tom, was it's just sort of happening. And that's how you know it's of God, because we aren't necessarily just doing stuff. People just feel inclined.
Yeah.
To at the very least, let's say, go to church. At the very least, change their thinking about it. I don't know, man. Like, so I'm going to read some of the comments. You jump into this and help me out as you're thinking through this.
Yeah. Nick, to answer your question, I know you're being funny, and it is kind of funny, but if you want to know the context to church, so we're not an Armenian church, but we have majority of our congregations are Armenians, but we're still ethnically diverse for an Armenian area church. But the churches in this area, we don't see kind of like Shepherd of the Hills churches in that context of the sort of like Armenian evangelical churches. So you'll get some you'll get most of them that have been around for 35, 40 years that are at maybe 150, 100 in attendance. Some of them will reach that 200 mark. It doesn't get much more than that.
Yeah, and if you're hitting like 300, 400, you're a big size church.
Yeah, I don't even know an Armenian church right now that's consistently hitting those numbers.
There aren't any. Or
majority Armenian speaking church or whatever. You know what I mean, ethnically. But our church is having an exponential growth. It's insane, the amount. And people say don't judge by numbers. I would say in normal times that's true.
Yeah.
Numbers don't define much. But if your church is preaching the gospel if it is not compromising on any issues, if it's sort of countercultural, and at the same time,
you're not doing anything crazy where like people are like, I'm going to show up because the pastor's going to fly.
We're not doing anything crazy. We literally are in an old Lutheran church that has like random paintings on the wall. Our parking lots don't have a nice color, like
drawing the lines.
Yeah, like our fellowship hall, the words are falling off, and it says like fellowship hall or something like that. And we're not trying that hard. And it seems like God is sending people, and not just sending people to because they're somehow curious. See, that's the thing that I think a false revival can be. It can be out of curiosity, like something happens and then people are curious. I want to go to church. I think that can end up being a false revival. But it's not just people who are curious. It's people that are like, I want to come to church, and you're like, this person has no reason to want to come to church, but they have interest in it. And then a couple weeks later, they're learning about Mormonism or something, or like in a good way. I mean, like they're starting to like, hey, what is this? What is that? And you see this action, and it's like this can't just be random. So that's what's happening in our church. Well, that's our immediate experience.
Or like yesterday, we were talking about someone, and you said this dude 6 months ago was like, I don't want to have anything to do with Christianity.
Yeah.
Like, stop it. And then now he's like, I got all these questions about the Bible, and I got all these questions about God, and I'm reading the Bible, and I'm spending time studying the Bible and listening to YouTubers teach me the Bible, listening to sermons. And you go, wow, yeah, clearly. I mean, look, we can look at this and we go, well, this seems to be signs of a person who's born again. When I counsel people and people are asking me, how do I know I'm born again and stuff? And I say, oh, tell me about yourself. And do you find yourself gravitating towards godliness and things of God? And like, yes. It's like, well, that's a really good sign that, you've experienced God and you've been born again because you desire these things now. And those are the sorts of things I think that we've been seeing. And to the point where we're like, are you raising your hand to talk?
I was going to say something like, because I'm going to forget. But I was going to ask you for a pen and paper, by the way. Because I want to start jotting stuff down.
There's an awesome pen sitting in front of you.
Yeah, but I don't have paper. I want to write stuff down. I realize I have a terrible memory. So like you'll say something and I'm like, I want to say something to that, and then I'll forget about it. Bro, are you looking for a pen, paper? It's all right on my hand. It's okay. I don't have much to write. I'll write on my hand. How do you write? I forgot how to write.
See if that works.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, even if it doesn't, I can make the shape of the letters. Can I jump in real quick? So, guys, when you look at what true revival causes, it causes cultural change.
These are all markers.
Like here, I had something open, Arthur. Here, like when you look at the Great Awakening, when you look at the Second Great Awakening, when you look at the Welsh revival, is that how they say it? Welsh revival. It says over 100,000 conversions in a year. Pubs emptied, crime dropped, and hymn singing filled the towns. Okay, listen, I was at Ross. Okay. Yeah, I love Ross. I love Marshalls.
When were you at
Probably
Ross?
Marshalls and Ross.
When were you
a couple days ago. You got Jerome. I got to take you to Ross, man. When you come over here, I was at Marshalls and Arthur. I'm not kidding you, and I know this is somewhat existed. Like there've always been like plates and cups that say like God is good and stuff like that. But the clothing section at Ross, was filled with a bunch of Christian clothing. And really cool Christian, not like I love or Jesus loves you, like real Christian clothing. Like in the beginning, it had like Genesis chapter 1 written out with a cool picture, and then it had other things, all about Jesus. And so this is the way I see real revival peaking its head. If you have revival, it should spark a growth in the church. That's the initial trend, right? The churches start growing, but then it has to spill over into the culture. Right? And that is spilling over into the culture. I told my brother that it's more normal right now to wear a shirt about Jesus than it is to wear like an LGBTQ+. It's more normal. You are weird if you wear a pro LGBTQ shirt. It's not the thing right now.
Yeah, people are going to look at you strange.
Yeah, and it's not strange to wear something that says Jesus. Even secular brands are using like Christian lingo in their like All Saints or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like really weird, man. It's like it's popular to use Christian lingo on clothing and stuff like that. And I think that's good evidence. What's he saying? Oh, come on, Sad. I was just gonna rap, bro.
He's not rapping, guys. I agree with you. I do think whenever we see just general secular companies lean into Christian merch, lean into canceling shows or saying, hey, this doesn't, we were like all the way in on this, and then we're not really going to do that. We're going to do it this way. And then, start catering. Then that means, because they do research. Here's where people don't think.
Yeah.
These companies pay people lots and lots and lots of money to do research on what public opinion is on things. So usually they're actually ahead of what's coming down.
Oh, for sure.
Because they got to prepare, and so if they're seeing that, if they're seeing trends like this change, and then they're catering to that, you better know at the very least public opinion is changing. Now, as Christians, we're not like, we want public opinion to change on various issues, but we're most interested in and most excited about people becoming believers, people giving their lives to Jesus and following him.
Yeah.
Again, we can be excited over our churches being full. Like, our church was very full yesterday. But I want all those people to give their lives to Jesus. I'm not under the impression or the false impression that everybody there has given their lives to Jesus. That's probably not the case. But what better place to be at? I mean, I love what Nick just said. Nick said, if 100 people showed up, and I've been to Nick's church. His church has a very similar vibe, the church building, to the one we're at right now. And he said, I wouldn't know what to do except preach the gospel.
Beautiful.
Amen. That's the way it should be. I mean, I didn't know what to do. I was running around the parking lot, and I was like, oh man, I didn't expect all these people, and we don't know where to park their cars. But it was exciting. It was really exciting. And I again, you guys, I want to encourage you, because we often pray the harvest is plentiful. Jesus said the harvest is plentiful. Pray to the Lord of the harvest to raise up workers. We often pray this, especially those of us who are in ministry, that God would raise up people that would go into the harvest field and harvest for the Lord. Maybe we're coming to a time, let's just put it this way. Now, I haven't personally led a lot of people to the Lord. Okay, like maybe people have come to know the Lord through me.
Yeah.
But I haven't personally led them to give their lives to Jesus. Many people. I can probably count on one hand, maybe two hands, max. But I have a feeling we're getting to a time where it's going to be super easy and normal to lead people to the Lord. Even the most shy individual, pulled back individual, is going to see himself or herself leading people to Jesus.
Boom.
Where they're like, wait, I never thought something like this would happen with me. Even the person who has been terrified to invite their cousin or their brother, sister, parents to church and stuff like that, their cousin and parents are going to come to them and say, I want to go to church. And we're seeing that.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw that yesterday. You got a message and you were like, bro, I would have never thought.
Dude, I've been trying to preach the gospel to people my whole life. Like I say, even when I was a hypocrite, living in sin, whatever, my whole life the trajectory has been trying to somehow preach the gospel, lead people to Jesus, however I've been living in my life, right? But I haven't been very successful in that sense, the same way where I can say so and so came to, and then my brother, who's been a knucklehead for a lot of his life, I would say seriously came to the Lord probably a few years ago, 3 years ago when he was baptized. He's bringing a bunch of people to church, and it seems like they're being led to Jesus.
And he's very different from you.
And he's very different. He's not a charismatic guy. He's low. He probably said something like, hey, bro, you guys want to come to church if you're down tomorrow?
Yeah, that's pretty much.
And then he's bringing
that.
Yeah, and then he's bringing more people to church and probably more people to the faith at this point or through him.
I agree.
So I don't know if God's just trying to mess with me, you're going to do all this stuff and then I'm just going to do it through someone else, which could be the case. But I don't care, because to me that's encouraging. It's like it's something is truly happening when people who you wouldn't expect to be doing the legwork are now doing the legwork.
Yeah, and again, this is what I mean is just knowing your brother, right?
Yeah.
And those who know your brother, he's a guy that will sit there for 2-3 hours and not say a word.
Yeah, he could. Yeah, for sure.
He'll just sit there. And then after the entire conversation, everything, he'll shoot me a text. He'll be like, hey, bro, I got a question. Why didn't you ask that question when we're all sitting there? Oh, I just didn't feel like it.
Yeah.
And where, he's not like going out there probably looking for these things. He's living his life. He's showing people what Christ has done in his life. And he's just been open with his friends. And, and then the Lord's using him. And that's the sort of stuff that I look at and I go, because earlier we were talking about like fabrication, right? People can fabricate these sort of stuff, these sort of things. People can fabricate them. But I've been saying this, I think, for at least a year, if I'm not mistaken, that specifically because I work with high school students, I'm seeing a shift towards more religiosity at the very least. But I'm also seeing high school students coming up to me and saying, I listen to this and I'm reading the Bible and I didn't do that. None of my friends did that. And I look at them and I go, you guys are so much more advanced than us when we were your age. And maybe every generation says that, but I'm specifically talking about spirituality. Folks are going to church regularly. Young people, 15, 16-year-olds, regularly are going to church on Sundays. And I'm speaking about this across the denominational horizons.
And across the globe.
Yeah. Like, none of my friends that growing up, because I grew up Armenian, and so we went to the Apostolic Church. You didn't.
No.
Tom, none of my friends regularly went to church. Zero. If they did, we'd make fun of them. I'm talking to young people who are 15, 16 years old who are regularly going to Armenian Apostolic Church on Sundays for Mass. Regularly. And not with their parents. That's the other thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, usually at that age, you're going places because your parents are going and they're sort of dragging you and stuff. These are young people who are regularly just going to church. And they're curious about the Word of God, and they're reading the Bible, and they're asking questions. It's really exciting to see, right? Where we're seeing, again, going on the platform, I saw a post, somebody was saying, please pray for Jordan Peterson. Because Jordan Peterson's not, his health is not good. This was on Twitter, I saw. Please pray for Jordan Peterson. He's been the vehicle for so many young people to come to the Catholic Church. Okay. Now, again, I'm not saying this so people can, get a reaction. I'm just saying the reality of seeing that. And folks are noticing this across the board. Yet we do realize, so folks like Gavin Ortland have spoken about this, we do realize that the younger generation longs for and is more attracted to like religiosity, right? Like more traditional kinds of worship and stuff like that. But that's not the only thing. Like, we don't necessarily have a very traditional worship gathering, but we're seeing that in.
By the way, I don't know how true statistic. I was looking at this statistically.
Yeah.
And they don't have very recent statistics, but they do have it at least a year back. And there's not this like crazy trend of people going to the Catholic Church, or the Orthodox Church. By the way, these churches lost more people, so they're gaining some percentage back, and they're counting that as like a growth, but it's not a growth. Like
it's very weird counting growth. In those churches.
Like, I hope the Catholics that are if there are any Catholics that watch this, like, you're not that on fire, bro. Like,
here's what I would say, right? Like, so consider something like Armenia. If you look at statistics, there'll be like 98% of people are Christians in this country.
Yeah.
And the way they're essentially doing that data is, do they confess to be Christian? But like, I've met Armenians who say God doesn't exist and say they're Christians, which
true.
which tells you enough, right? Which tells you enough. But also, like, the church is going to generally count like who's a Christian by baptism, so it's the kids they're baptizing and all that stuff. So I'm not necessarily going off of statistics and what the data is. I'm just saying you sort of sense movements in culture way before people start doing data. The reason people will start doing the research and try to gather data is because we have a sense and we're seeing stuff happen. You're like in your friend group, you're talking about stuff and you find out, oh, wow, that so-and-so, I never thought so-and-so went to church. I never thought so-and-so was a Christian. And as a matter of fact, 3 years ago, they weren't. I just saw him again, let's just say, right? Like I saw a guy at a wedding that I haven't seen for a very long time. And he told me he's teaching at a Christian institution. And I was like, wow, oh. Like I put one and one together. Like, oh, this guy probably started following Christ. And I have a good reason to believe that as well. But like that's really cool to see.
Yeah.
Is folks you meet that you haven't seen for a very long time and God's done really cool work in their lives. And then you go, oh, there's more and more of this happening. And the more we interact with people, part of the thing is that we're actually interacting with people, you and I. Whether it's getting Instagram messages, whether it's talking to people like on the ground, it's, you know, doing an event like the one we did, or you did a couple of weeks ago, and then seeing folks come to church from that and because of that. And again, not talking about we're going to sit in church, like enthusiastic.
Yeah, it's so weird, man.
They're studying the Bible.
Like
they got questions about the Bible.
Stuff, yeah.
People are walking into church with their Bibles in hand.
And they've never gone to church.
Yeah.
Wow, weird. And then you got the doofus Pope like praying over a rock. Man, it's really weird, right? Who would have thought like the Pope would be the one like ruining the revival that's happening? So I did realize I don't. By the way, this,
how did you end up there?
I don't know. I
was trying to see the
like as you were talking about the revival, I was thinking about the Pope praying over the ice, and then there was like weird like pagan songs going on, and then it was like Arnold Schwarzenegger like moving a curtain up and down, and I was just like, what the heck? Like, if I was the Pope, I would ride the wave. Like, during my papacy, there was a huge revival, and this guy's like, don't stop, don't like be anti-abortion and stuff. You know, and I'm being facetious. He didn't say that. But he's like trying to like equate weird stuff together, and it's like, dude, you're the Pope, and yes, you are a false teacher, but this could be your like perfect timing to jump in and be like,
it's okay. Hey, Donald Trump will take credit for it.
I know, seriously, maybe Donald Trump should take credit for it.
Trump will get out and be like, we have been just told that
Christianity was dead.
Christianity was dead. I brought it back. I made it cool. Now it's expanding. It's great.
Hey man, I know you're joking, but like I said, the two things don't have to be necessarily true, but they could go hand in hand together somehow. Donald Trump's presidency has had a major effect on,
I don't disagree with you.
This whole situation. Maybe not. God could have done it at any time, but he decided to do it maybe now. And that's not by coincidence. God doesn't do it by coincidence. So you might see coincidences in there, but it's not by coincidence.
Okay.
Hey, I was going to say...
Hang on. I want to go to this. No, Jerome said... Write it down. Jerome said this. He said Justin Brierley, who has a podcast, and he's an amazing guy. Justin Brierley must be so happy right now, by the way. He got rushed for saying that he sensed the revival a few years ago. Now, here's the thing. Maybe Justin Brierley saw this coming because Justin Brierley spent so much time talking to people. And specifically people who weren't believers or who were somewhere else, and then he realized they'd come to a different place in 10, 15 years.
Sorry, who is this? I don't know.
Justin Brierley had the podcast he was running called Unbreakable.
Oh, okay, I haven't heard of that. Yeah. Is he like a more charismatic guy?
No, man.
Because I was going to say charismatics just always say there's going to be a revival next year. So they're all basically right. Any charismatic Pentecostal church called this revival.
I think Justin Brierley might be
okay.
Anglican or...
yeah, because guys, if you go to Pentecostal church, they're like, there's going to be a revival. The Spirit is going to reign, and then eventually it'll happen. That's what I'm saying. If someone...
Bro, you don't know Justin Brierley? This is Justin Brierley.
No.
What are you talking about?
No, I know that guy right there. Who's that? What's his name?
No, this guy.
No, brother, I don't know. I don't recognize him. I'm not in the YouTube world like you are.
It's not YouTube.
In the peasant world.
Oh, gosh. He does
I'm on TBN. Some of us could only afford TBN. We didn't have internet at the time. We had up to Channel 12. We had the Rod Parsleys, the Joel Osteens. And
he wrote a book. He wrote a book. Justin Barty wrote a book called. Look at this. Look at the books he called. So sorry, did I say Unbreakable? Unbelievable. The podcast was called Unbelievable. Why after 10 years of talking to atheists, I'm still a Christian. That's one of the books he wrote. Okay? He wrote a book in 2023. The Surprising Rebirth of Belief in God. Okay? Why new atheism grew old and secular thinkers are considering Christianity again. This book he wrote in 2023. Justin was on it, bro. I think he was paying attention. Why? So I guess he redid this book in 2025. Why I'm still a Christian after 2 decades of talking to atheists. I think that's what the title is. So, I think Justin was right on. But here's the crazy thing: Jerome writes that, right, and then Salwa Samra says, Let's see what it is. We are not in a revival.
Oh no.
I've agonized over this and why I'm sensing darkness, such darkness. This revival from this memorial, is it really as we see? I've had a sense that many don't share the Christian joy of the gospel.
But I don't think the revival has anything to do with the Charlie.
We're not talking about that. She's way off. And I'm going to respond to this respectfully, but I'm going to be a bit harsh with my response. The gospel is being used for an agenda. I don't say this lightly. I'm an avid researcher of the Bible. I don't say this lightly. This isn't what it appears. Please pray. My response generally would be, we're not talking about that. We're just generally talking about folks showing up to church that, like, in our experience, in our own little town, and our friends that we've known for a very
before
long
Charlie
time.
Kirk died.
Yeah, we'd sense this happening.
Yeah,
it's kind of just like become more visible now. The other thing is, like, everything you're saying here is that I sense such darkness. Like, that's not measurable. Like, if I were to say I sense such light, like, what? Who's right, me or you? So it doesn't matter what you sense. It could be that you're just a pessimistic individual, for all I know. Maybe I'm an optimistic individual. Right? Now, that's not to say that you don't have correct. What's the word you used here? Correct. What is it?
Discernment?
Yeah, discernment in regards to people are using Christianity or Charlie's death or something like that for their own political gains and stuff like that. We just made fun of Donald Trump for that.
Yeah.
Okay? Both of us are Trump voters and supporters. That we understand that people can and will, but that doesn't mean that God will not use people like that for his own purposes, as he did with Nebuchadnezzar, as he did with Cyrus, as he has done throughout the Bible, as he did with Pharaoh and Joseph to rescue his people. So if you want to think biblically about this, one of the things you're going to realize is even if people have bad motives, they're not going to outwit God.
Yeah, that's right.
Or else your view of God is extremely wrong. If you think some people are going to be like, let's use Christianity for our political whatever, and God's like, oh, what am I going to do here? These guys are so smart, I can't get them. No, God will use them. And I think, Tom, that's what you're talking about, this whole presidency and stuff like that. Even I would actually argue, tell me if you agree with this, Tom. I would actually argue that God used Biden's victory.
Sure.
To bring folks to such a place where they would be ready for, like, wow, man, this can get really bad really quick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Biden was more essential in that aspect for sure, because those 4 years were brutal. But I was going to say, when you look at, by the way, it's not like I've done like massive research on church revivals. I feel guilty for not doing
I have done massive research on revivals throughout history.
Yeah, but you see...
And I'll tell you the signs.
But even before the sign, or before you talk about the signs that a revival is happening, it seems like before every revival, there's something that's causing the revival, like specifically. So the Great Awakening, it's the Enlightenment era's intellectualism has cooled off. It has cooled religious fervor. Had cooled religious fervor. And then you got the Second Great Awakening. Post-Revolution America was spiritually dry and morally lax. And then you got the Welsh revival. Spiritual stagnation in industrial era Wales. And then, sorry, the last one, it's the Azusa Street revival. You have racially divided early 20th century America, spiritual hunger. And then you got this one, if you want to consider this a revival.
Before this one, so before you get to that, and you say,
there's a bunch more, by the way.
Azusa, but so if you look at, and I would consider something like right now happening, I would actually consider it the way the Jesus movement happened. That you guys can watch the movie Jesus Revolution. And figure more about, especially on the west coast of the United States, where you had a lot of young people coming out of the hippie movement and just being totally dissatisfied as to what it had promised to bring and never did. And I think we're seeing that, Tom, right? We're seeing let me just say over the last 20 years, because that's easy for me. Because
how would you measure? How would you measure that revival? So, like for example, the Azusa Street revival was like Pentecostalism, birth of Pentecostalism. Let's just say officially, right?
Sure.
That's the founding of Pentecostalism. Let's say, okay. Is in that like I'm not happy about that. Like not saying I'm not happy about people, whatever, but I'm not happy that like let's say Pentecostalism is dominating.
What I would say is that your research is lopsided. Partly because what you might be thinking about Pentecostalism today might not have been Pentecostalism 100 years ago. Okay, for example, Pentecostalism 100 years ago was highly legalistic and entirely like focused on holiness stuff, like holy living. Right, to the extent where it became legalistic, like no dancing, no going to the movies, that sort of stuff. Let's not forget that it birthed some of the most missionary-minded denominations ever, Assemblies of God and the Foursquare denomination, who've sent out missionaries in the thousands to the ends of the earth. So, like, I get what you're saying in regards to Pentecostalism. As someone who believes in the gift of the Spirit, like I'm unhappy with a lot of things that happen in Pentecostal circles, and I can. At one point, I would say I was a conservative. Now I don't even use that kind of language. Sorry, did I say conservative? I didn't mean conservative. I didn't mean that. I am a conservative. I used to say that I was a. Why am I forgetting words today?
You used to know the best words, but now you know the worst words. I think we're closer to the Jesus movement, the Chuck Smith, Calvary Chapel.
That's what I was saying.
Lonnie Frisbee. Like,
that's what I was saying.
By the way, did Lonnie Frisbee end up leaving the faith? I haven't watched the movie yet, but that's what I heard.
No, I don't think he left the faith. He had some issues. He had some serious sin issues.
Okay. Yeah. So I think we're in that era.
I do agree.
Very similar, by the way. But this is cool because this is cool. Here's a shout out to my Catholic and Orthodox brethren and some other sisterin but not Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses. Sorry guys, you're not included in this thing. But it's actually cool because it seems like this is not revival focused on one denomination, one church. It seems like it's just a general interest on God, Christianity. And it's cool because this might be I don't know, man, whatever. You can have mini revivals, I guess. It doesn't have to be like documentary. Revivals are always documented after, right? It's not like when they're happening, everyone's like,
well, no, people put
it on the wall. It's
here's the thing is sometimes what people will think about is that revivals tend to be like global or national. That's not true. We have had revivals happen in towns.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt.
We've had revivals happen in cities where it was city specific, that revival.
Yeah.
And people just, like lives changed. And again, I don't know what's happening in Delaware right now. Is that where Biden's from?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening in Delaware right now. Okay. I don't know what's happening in North Dakota.
Probably not nothing.
Yeah, I don't know,
Happening.
right? But I'm just saying, in a certain part of Los Angeles, where the predominant population are minorities, non-whites, where Protestantism is not the first thing people think about, we're seeing a change in people's mindsets at the very least.
Yes.
Even though you have people who aren't Christians and used to be ultra liberal and now have become like very conservative.
Yes.
And in my mind, they're like standing on the edge for us to push them into the kingdom of God. Right? They're like very close to becoming Christians, but they're not Christians. But their way of thinking has changed. And so now, because they're no longer liberals, now they're conservatives, they are more open to justifications for the views that they hold to coming from a biblical perspective. And they're more open to the gospel. So it's a lot easier. As someone who's been having, look, I've been having conversations with people about the gospel in our area since I became a believer at 18 years old. I became a believer at 18. I just turned 40 years old. 22 years I've been having conversations with people. Regularly, I've been having conversations. I've talked to thousands of people. I'm not exaggerating there. I've talked to thousands of people who stop me on the street and they say, you talked to me about Jesus 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Oh, do you remember you used to hang out at this place? Yes. Oh, I met you at a coffee shop, man. You shared the gospel with me.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Like, I go out and I sit places and I spark up conversations. It's just who I am. And I do it on YouTube now. Okay? So, but I've been doing it for a long time. And I used to bring up the gospel and people would generally just be like, I don't want to have this conversation. This is a headache. And, there's a couple of things we don't talk about, politics and religious. Now I have conversations and people are eager to listen. They're eager. They have questions about God. People come up to me and they go, oh man, I got questions about God. Can you help me answering them? And so, again, I don't know what's happening in Delaware, but what I'm saying is in this community that we're in, I'm definitely seeing a certain movement happening. It's exciting, man.
It is exciting.
It's absolutely exciting. As someone who loves preaching the gospel, and I do apologetics for evangelism. I don't do apologetics so I can just pound people over the head with, my brain bat. I do apologetics because I want to see people come to know the Lord. And apologetics is a way for me to answer their questions, to get rid of the weeds, as Dr. J.P. Moreland puts it, so they come to faith. This is exciting. Maybe we won't even need apologetics in that sense. And I'm talking about it in the formal, here's an argument for God's existence and this and that. Maybe the apologetics we're going to be doing for the next 20 years is going to look different.
Yeah.
It's not going to be, let me argue against the atheists. Because maybe you're not going to interact with a lot of atheists. And so the questions you're going to be answering are going to be different.
Yeah, it's so funny, man. It's almost silly to be an atheist now. It's almost like if you start from that position saying, I'm an atheist, and you're kind of like, think about it, dogmatic about it, like you could be in the early 2000s or whatever, you're kind of laughed at now. No one talks that way anymore. And I wanted to, can I touch on something real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
That Jesse said like 100 comments ago that I wanted to.
Go ahead.
So Jesse said something like, God, I can't find it now, but she said something like, just because they're wearing a cross or a pendant doesn't mean that, she said, just because someone wears a cross pendant doesn't mean they're a Christian. Sometimes they wear it as fashion accessory. Let's not confuse the two. And it means nothing to them. So look, generally, I could understand that argument, like during normal times. But when you have companies not just a cross, not just like the fashionable cross, that are selling Christian shirts with Bible verses on them that have like the story of creation. I know this because I bought one from Ross literally 2 days ago. Okay, when you have kids walking out with shirts of Jesus's face and stuff like that, that's not just a cross pendant, which has kind of become a cultural popular item. Sadly, because that's
Accessory,
like that's not the case. The point is, like, people are not shy to go into public wearing lingo on themselves or hats and stuff like that talk about Jesus. Like, this would be something, I don't know, like I went to school in the 2000s, right? I graduated in 2010. It was kind of embarrassing to wear Christian content on your shirt and go to school in like 2006, 2007. It wasn't something that I'll be like, oh, look, it's the cool guy, he's wearing a verse on his shirt. You'd be like the weird guy.
Yeah, like he's the high school football jock wearing.
No, so it's not an accessory to show off. It's not like, hey, look at my bling bling. I got a $10,000 cross, but I don't care about who Jesus is. It's like you got a $5. You had $5, and you could go buy a shirt, and you chose to go to Ross and buy the one that has a verse about Jesus on it. That's a really dramatic difference from having a really expensive cross and seeing it as a fashion statement. Yeah. So yes, it could be true that some people do it as who does that? Like, who would want to look like a Christian as a fashion statement? That would be very weird.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think Jesse's point is right on. It's spot on in the sense that people traditionally wear crosses and so on, or cross tattoos and this and that. But it's beyond that.
Yeah,
it's beyond that. Like, again, I'm seeing kids on high school campuses who are wearing Christian merch, and they're like, "I got this on TikTok. I bought this on TikTok Shop."
Yeah.
This, like, I've asked them, like, Bible verses.
Yeah.
On their, hoodies and shirts and stuff like that. So it's, obviously there's always going to be the fat to it, and it looks nice and this and that. And I don't necessarily think that there's anything wrong with Christians producing things that look nice. But it's when you see major companies shifting the consumer base.
Shifted. I agree with you completely.
And when the major companies are shifting their consumer base, public opinion is shifting. And we should be aware of that. And here's what I'm saying. To a certain extent, listen to me very carefully, oh, believer. Listen to me very carefully. We should be opportunists on this.
God, that's so good.
Right? We should take...
Yes.
Like... As Christians, so Jesus, go read Luke 12 to 21. Luke 12 to 21, that thematically, Jesus keeps sharing stories about money. And at one point or another in that section, I think it's chapter 14, if I'm not mistaken, Jesus says that the sons of this world are wiser when it comes to money than the children of light. He says, so the children of light need to become wiser, and they need to use earthly means to make eternal friends. So Jesus there is saying, use money to make friends of an eternal sort, to invest in the kingdom of God financially by the earthly means, so that people come to know the Lord, and you're making eternal friends. That's the idea there, right? Christians sometimes are passive, and we don't pay attention to cultural trends, and we don't take advantage of cultural trends.
Yeah.
And my point is, we need to. If your neighbor that you've known for 20 years just went from voting for Hillary Clinton to voting for Donald Trump, something's happened in his mind. There's been a shift in his mind where he's become more conservative. Now, some Christians will sit there and say, oh, it's a fake, he's faking it or something like that. My thing is, use that as an opportunity. That's what I mean by being an opportunist. Use that as an opportunity to share the gospel with them, because they will most likely now be more open to hearing the gospel than they were 8 years ago. It's very strange, you guys. Sometimes we don't realize how much we change over 8 years or 10 years or 12 years. People outside of us will tell you, oh man, you've changed so much over the last 10 years. Look at the people around you. They've changed. People have gone through a tremendous amount of change. I think they're more open to the gospel. And that's all I'm saying. You're seeing cultural shifts happening. You're seeing trends taking place or trends changing. Big corporations appeasing Christians to a certain extent. There's something happening. Take advantage of it. Be wise as serpents, but as harmless as doves.
Yeah, Christians are we're such sissies sometimes when it comes to this stuff. Like, you get an atheist, like a celebrity comes out and goes like, we should protect women's rights, and they're like, oh my gosh, something blah 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 said we should protect women's rights. Wow, what a hero! And then they start wearing her shirts, and like they embrace that stuff. And then with us, when we see God moving in the culture, we're always like, but what if it's not God moving? But what if this is not? What if it's? What if it's not? What if you're just thinking it's God moving, but it's a fad or something like that?
Yeah.
But what if it's God moving and you're just not prepared for it? Like, let me put it this way, Arthur. Tell me if you disagree. If this is a revival and God's sitting there like telling the angels, let it be, it's a revival. Yeah. And so we start taking advantage of it, like you said, and we start doing stuff and praise God, and this huge movement happens and thousands of millions of people praise God. And if it's not like God orchestrating some kind of revival, and it's just people are interested due to different current events, and we move and we bring people to Jesus, and it doesn't go too long and it ends in a couple years and we're back at so what? The point is, whether it's a long-term revival that was orchestrated in that sense for God to just pour His Spirit over the church, or whether it was just like, hey, yeah, you guys have been prepared, you guys have been doing YouTube, this different kind of stuff, and I'm going to give you some cultural events, and yeah, it's not going to be a large revival or anything like that, but you can use it and bring people to the faith, and praise and glory be to God. Why does it have to do I have to see it on Wikipedia for it to be a revival? Like, do I have to type was 2025 Christian revival, and there has to be Wikipedia? But I don't care, man. I don't care about their opinions. I don't care about this. I don't care about that statistics. The thing is there evidence? And the evidence, the easy way to measure evidence is not just in your context, like your surrounding. It's brothers that you trust all across the globe, all around the world, all across America. When you're waking up and you're typing on YouTube Christianity or whatever, and you're seeing a bunch of different people with different opinions belonging to different churches saying, hey, is there some change happening? Is God moving? I doubt that's a fad. Like, if people are all over, if there's people all over the United States saying God is moving, and then Anchor is like dying, and like every church around us is dying, and no one's coming to the faith, youngsters aren't interested in Jesus, I'd be like, that sounds kind of weird. But I can sense it. It's like tangible evidence.
So here's and I don't know. I just pulled up a video by Gavin Ortlund. Gavin put out this video a year ago. Okay. Sadly, this video has 15,000 views. It should have a lot more. It's called "Revival on College Campuses?" ? I don't know whether it's in this video because Gavin did a series of videos on revivals. Because his dad, I think his grandfather, if I'm not mistaken, his grandfather, by the way, Tom, planted Lake Avenue Church.
Whose grandfather?
Gavin Ortlund.
Oh, okay.
And one of the things he said is, like under normal circumstances, we see people becoming Christians. It's more like a trickle. Like you see 2 people here and 3 people here and 5 people here, And he said, basically, when a revival's happening, it's sort of like this wave hitting you. It's just like all at once sort of happening. And so he's, again, interviewed his father on revivals because they've been involved and they regularly pray for this stuff. And some really, really good insight. Now, I don't know whether this video, I want to play this video. It's 9 minutes. I don't know how I'll skip around of it. Let me see. This one says spiritual openness. There's some interesting, revival is powerful. Those are the chapter headings. Revival is precarious. Revival. What is this? Revival. Preparing for revival. That's a very interesting one. Okay, so I want to play this, and then we'll stop and talk about it. Do you have your earphones in?
Yeah.
You ready to go on this? Okay, just to hear, and I respect and trust Gavin quite a bit, man. I don't. Why do we always feel like the we need to say something like I don't agree with everything that he says.
Yeah, just don't.
Like, I like Gavin. He's a good guy.
On September 19th, 2024, over 10,000 students gathered at the University of Arkansas for a time of worship. The ministry sponsoring this event said, Jesus met us there. We were blown away by his presence in the room and how it carried over into baptisms. I found this really exciting. And there's been a lot of these events lately on college campuses. Several thousand at the University of South Carolina, another gathering at the
So this is a year ago, Tom.
Yeah.
And this was happening. Like, people weren't talking about this. People were getting baptized and stuff.
Christie campus of Texas A&M, and again, resulting in baptisms and professions of faith. And then at Ohio State University, members of the football team shared testimonies of what God had been doing in them and among their teammates, and this also resulted in a crowd gathering and baptisms. More anecdotally, that's all within the last month from my recording this video. Those 4 episodes on campus universities, university campuses. I'm tired today. Anecdotally, though, I also just keep feeling this and seeing this and hearing from churches, from campus ministries, the sense of, among Gen Z, the word I will use is openness. And it's so refreshing to see. David Kinnaman, CEO of Barna Research, did a study on teenagers, and he concluded that the younger generation should give us hope for the church. The study that he conducted said, young people may be fueling this rise in spiritual hunger. Overwhelmingly, Christian teens today say that Jesus still matters to them. Teens remain refreshingly open to Jesus.
Isn't that interesting? Like, teens get such a bad rep for stuff.
Yeah.
And then when you look at the actual research and the data, they're like, we're really interested in Jesus. Now, in the work that I do, and there's some lingo involved with that, which is Jesus curious people. People who are Jesus curious. And there's a lot of people who are Jesus curious, guys. A lot of people. And Christians need to take advantage of that curiosity. If your friends have questions about Jesus, who better to ask than you?
Yeah.
Are you going to sit there and wait for someone else to come answer this?
Jesus. There's that word refreshingly. I've decided to make praying for revival, and especially for revival among the younger generation, a major focus in my own life. And I just want to make a very simple and short video here, inviting others to join me in praying for that and thinking about that. I can't think of anything more worthy of giving my life and prayers and labors to than trying to serve, especially young people, through praying for this, and then just whatever we can do to try to seek a new wave of God's work. So I'm going to make theology of revival a major focus of Truth Unites in 2025. I'm going to take December to study, and then lots of videos in 2025, because I think thinking theologically about what revival is helpful, and studying church history can really help us. It's amazing some of the things God has done. The other day when I was praying for revival, I was actually writing my monthly newsletter for Truth Unites. You can sign up for that on the website, by the way. And I was praying for revival, and I just felt this, I don't know how to describe it, just this tremendous surge of peace in my heart. And I guess it seems to me like we're in a political season right now. There's so much anxiety and anger. It's really easy to focus on all the problems of the world. And I know for myself, but I think probably for all of us, we need to be reminded to keep our eyes upon Christ and try to keep the focus where it needs to be, those of us who are followers of Jesus. And I can't think of a better thing to focus on than praying for a new work of God. So in this video, this is extremely simple. This is sort of almost just like hey, flagging this, look into this more, look into what God is doing.
You can.
I don't even know exactly what he's doing, but look into it. And let's talk more about this. I'll just mention 2 thoughts, though, to kind of spur interest in this and explain why I want to make this more of a focus. Revival is powerful. Revival is precarious. Revival is powerful. Jonathan Edwards argued that the advance of the kingdom of God consists much in revival. The advance of the kingdom of God throughout over the last 2,000 years hasn't been like...
Isn't that interesting? Like Jonathan Edwards talking about revival. And because typically you get the conversations when it comes about revival, like you were saying, Tom, it has to do with like people more on the charismatic side, right? Like a more Pentecostal side of things. And here's Jonathan Edwards talking about, look, revival's important, partly because he experienced revival. It's part of the reason. There was a revival when Jonathan Edwards was preaching. There's revival when George Whitefield was preaching.
Yeah, John Wesley.
You know, and you can have negative effects come out of revivals always, by the way. And so we have to be careful about that when these things are happening. For example, the First and Second Great Awakening have given rise to some of the biggest cults in American history. Christians who departed and moved away from the life of the intellect. So we need to learn from those past experiences and say we're not going to repeat them. But Jonathan Edwards is saying that revival matters quite a bit to the growth of the church.
The same amount every year. A lot of times it's these seasons of renewal where God pours out his spirit and the kingdom of God sort of surges forward. And then there's these periods of darkness and declension. And not that God isn't working at all, but there's a lot more stagnation. And he, in his own ministry, he said, I can look back and see many years where God was not doing a lot that I could tell, but then all of a sudden, in 1737, God just poured out his spirit. He said, when God in so remarkable a manner took the work in his own hands, there was as much done in a day or two as at ordinary times is done in a year.
This is the quote.
That's
Man,
a great quote.
This quote is so good.
Yeah.
Now, for those people for people who've been in ministry and who've labored in ministry for years and years, and you know, like you preach for 10, 15 years and maybe 5 new people come to your church over that 10, 15 new years. And we have to, for those of us who live in big cities, we have to realize that the way we experience church is not the way everybody else experiences church. It could be that some small town, it's just like, that's, you know, the normal is just the same exact people all the time. And here this quote, Jonathan Edwards saying, it's as if like God takes it and does all the work himself.
It's beautiful.
And there was as much done in a day or two as at ordinary times is done in a year.
I know we focus on that, which is beautiful, but look at the beginning of that quote. When God, in so remarkable a manner, like so because this revival that you're speaking about drew, one of the main things it did is it drew thousands of people to outdoor kind of speaking venues. That's actually the picture.
Yeah.
So it's funny because like it seems like it's a public thing that's happening, right? It's not like the you know, I don't know. Sometimes I think Jonathan Edwards is like in a small like church hall yelling
Probably
at a wall.
was.
He probably did do that, but like it's incredible to see. And by the way, I don't think they had microphones at that time. So this is like some so if you have 1,000 people gathered when there's no microphone, someone's got to be like the delay speaker there. Like someone was actually like, he's saying that you should repent of your sins, and some other guy, he's saying you should repent, and it's going, it's crazy. And so now that's a beautiful quote, but now we have so much as far as means to spread the gospel. Now you can stand somewhere with a little microphone and the speaker, and you can actually reach 3,000 people.
Literally, like tiny speaker.
Yeah, yeah. Or like, hey, everyone, take out your headphones. We're gonna stream this or whatever. Like it's man. Imagine they had this. If they had this, Christianity had taken over the world right now. Oh gosh. But
I love this quote. You know, and I think what Jonathan Edwards is getting at it here, or what he's trying to get at is not that God is not at work at other places and times. But there's something special happening. He uses the word remarkable, in a remarkable manner, in a special way, that God took this into his own hands, and did it. And I think that's the idea he's going after. And maybe we're seeing that.
Took the work in his own hands. There was as much done in a day or two as at ordinary times is done in a year. Now, I love that idea. You know, one day does as much as a year when God sort of steps in this more decisive way. It reminds me of the verse in Joel where it says God can restore the years that the locusts have eaten. That's what God can do. And, you know, I'm not a cynic about revival. I've seen these times where God just does something and it's hard to explain. It's amazing. And so I just think that particularly right now with all the instability, this is a wonderful thing to focus upon. What more would I like to give my life to? Nothing. Honestly, it's pretty simple for me. I want to walk with Christ myself. I want to take care of my family, but then I want to be an agent of renewal and so forth. That's really what I want to spend my life on. But the other thing, and the reason I think it helps to think theologically about revival, is that revival is precarious. And all I mean by that is revival can be misused. It's very easy. God does something genuine. He pours out his spirit and you know, people are responding to Christ, and then people can come along and sensationalize it or commercialize it or copy it and try to reproduce it. And so revival is this kind of special, precious, valuable thing that we have a responsibility to try to steward. And one of the ways we do that is to keep the focus on Christ at all times. I love my dad's definition of revival. Revival is a season in the life of the church when God causes the normal ministry of the gospel to surge forward with extraordinary spiritual.
This is kind of what I was talking about. This idea. Right. Again, it's not... And because our expectations matter, it's something that happens in an extraordinary way that you kind of go, what just happened? You know, like maybe if you preach the gospel to a group of people, let's just say you go to a campus. It's something I used to do, right? You go to campus and you preach, and then you say at the end of it, hey, whoever wants to give their lives to Jesus, I'm standing right here. Come up to me. We'll talk. We'll pray together and stuff. And maybe 300 people are there, and then 2 of them come to you, 3 of them come to you and talk to you after that, which is great. Praise God. But I think when you see a revival happening and you say the same thing, 80 people come up to you.
Yeah.
And you go, what just happened? Like there's something special happening. Guys, go watch the videos of Ray Comfort speaking at Cal State Fullerton. Go watch the videos and look at the audience Look at the people there. There's something happening.
Power. I like that because it's highlighting revival is not a distraction from the normal ministry of the gospel, but it's when the ministry of the gospel surges forward. And so we want to keep the focus upon Christ at all times. And whatever else happens, we don't, revivals can be noisy or they can be very quiet. And that both are fine. It can have a lot of emotional exuberance or it can be relatively calm. Both are fine. Neither of those really tells you what's genuine. What tells you if a revival is genuine is the spiritual fruit that is born. Is it making us love Jesus more, know Jesus more, serve Jesus more, walk with Jesus more, etc.? So more to come on all this on Truth Unites. But in the meantime, what do we do about revival? I'll just say two things. Number one is we pray. And the second is I think we try to stop fighting so much, at least in nasty ways. Christians we are often in Galatians 5:15 mode, tearing each other, devouring each other right now, especially on social media. I think unity helps us prepare for revival. So I know sometimes we have to disagree and talk, but to whatever extent we can try to not allow the enemy, Satan, to have a foothold by anger and division and rancor and so forth, I think that prepares us well for revival. The other thing I'd say is we can do is we can hope. Don't give way to despair. There's so much despair in the world right now. Here's a final image I'll leave you just because I like it and it makes me happy. When in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, there's talk of Aslan, the Christ figure coming. And listen to how C.S. Lewis describes this. A very curious thing happened. None of the children knew who Aslan was any more than you do. But the moment the beaver had spoken these words, everyone felt quite different. Perhaps it has sometimes happened to you in a dream that someone says something which you don't understand, but in the dream it feels as if it had some enormous meaning. Either a terrifying one, which turns the whole dream into a nightmare, or else a lovely meaning too lovely to put into words, which makes the dream so beautiful that you remember it all your life and are always wishing that you could get into that dream again. It was like that now. At the name of Aslan, each one of the children felt something jump in its inside. When we think of Jesus, we think of a movement of Jesus. It's tremendously exciting to think, without giving way to sensationalism, but to have a healthy focus to say, let's not be cynics. Because I think sometimes some Christians are so wanting to clamp down and give warnings about don't misunderstand revival. But the other danger is that we're cynical or sluggish in responding. And so, because this is the other thing that we can do is just drop off all control that we feel we have over God's kingdom and let go and say, okay, Lord, you're on the throne. What are you doing? What is your will for your church in 2024 and 25 and 26 and so forth? And how do I just let go of everything else but the will of God and focus on what you want to do? Revival also has this loosening effect on us that's good. It helps us fight about our little, when revival comes, we often learn, this was my own pet little thing. It wasn't about the kingdom, whether it be theology or even ministry or other things in our lives.
That's golden. That's a golden line, bro. That when God's doing stuff and you're seeing people get saved, Christians forget the secondary issue they're disagreeing about. And they become about the people getting saved. It's sort of like if you and your wife are having an argument, and then your son falls down and hurts himself. Your entire focus becomes your son. And in that moment, you're going to be unified together for the sake of your son and forget that argument was even there. You might actually realize, wow, what a dumb argument we were having. And it's like that. Like Christians, sometimes we get into our own like little conversations, and then someone gets saved in front of us. And the right thing would be to say is, how do we disciple this person? They just got saved. Let's care about this person properly. We'll talk about the secondary stuff later. But right now, let's pay our attention to this individual right here.
But Art, the problem is that Catholics and stuff and Orthodox, they don't have that culture. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Of like, praise God, people are being saved. It seems
I'm not talking about Catholics.
No. I'm saying it seems like every time I'm watching them talk about these things that are happening, it's like, people are coming back to the Catholic Church, and then I'm like, what does that mean? Like, it seems like they're not. I might be wrong. I don't want to be adversarial here, but it seems like they're not praising God for people's personal conversion to Jesus as much as they're like people are returning. I was watching Trent Horn this morning, and I want to make a point on what Gavin just said too, but I was watching Trent Horn this morning, and he was responding to a Redeemed Zoomer thing, and he was like, well, us Catholics, we know if someone dies as a martyr, as a Christian martyr, but they're not part of the Catholic Church, as long as they're not adversarial, they weren't adversary in their life towards the Catholic Church, they might go to heaven. I was like, what the heck? Like, you know what I mean? Like, in the midst, like, when he says, put aside your differences, I don't know if he's talking about Christians in just, like, within the Protestant.
I think so.
Okay. Yeah. So, that's
he might be overextending that because he talks to a lot of Catholics and Orthodox, but I think generally he's talking about Protestants too.
So, one other point I made here is it's had an impact. So, it's had an impact on me personally. It's made me want to read the Bible more and get into the Word of God more and pray more than I have ever before. And that's partly because I'm excited, but also it's because oh crap, like I might get more questions than I usually do. Have I put this stuff back into my brain? Like, because I don't have a memory like yours where I could watch something or read something 25 years ago and then recall it in like 5 seconds.
And
I don't
forget like little words that.
Yeah, I don't remember anything. I seriously don't remember anything. So that's what it's made me do. And another thing it's taught me is when we moved our church service to 9 a.m., I was like, there's no way.
You were absolutely the pessimist.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way people are going to come.
You're like, bro, it's not going to happen.
And it goes to what he just said, what Gavin just said, which is when God starts moving, you just got to like kick back a little and like, all right, God, what do you want to do? And that's what I learned. And this is not in the sense of revival, but in a mini sense of like, I thought no one would show up to a church at 9 a.m. I was like, that's it. It's done.
Especially our age group.
Yeah.
Little kids and stuff like that.
And then people showed up and they're showing up more and it's 9 a.m. And somebody asked me, what would you guys do if the other church moved its service like to later time? Would you go to, I'm like, no, we probably wouldn't go to 10 a.m.
We just extended.
We got more people coming at 9 a.m. Why would we go? You know? And it's just like, it's this evidence of like God, I at least in my personal life, God, excuse me for my language, but God said like, shut the hell up, to me. Like, you don't get to decide when people will come, when I'll wake them up, how excited they'll be. If you have to do it at 9 a.m. in the morning, you just get up a little earlier than that, go to church, set your stuff up, do your annoying singing, and let me send people at 9 a.m. if I want to.
Yeah.
And that's
this is what I was talking about.
God, that's so beautiful.
So Tom, this is what I was talking about when it's like, it's not a part of the marketing or programming and doing the research and saying, man, we just ask questions to 1,000 people who are between 30 and 40 to what their most ideal time to go to church will be.
That's right.
Right. You know what my wife said on the way home from church on Sunday?
What'd she say?
We were a good chunk of us were at a wedding on Saturday night.
Mm-hmm. I was there too.
Yeah. As I was driving home on Sunday after church, my wife said, I'm so proud of our people at church. Everyone at the wedding was at church today.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Everybody from the wedding.
Except a couple that got married.
Well, thank God. I mean,
shame on them for not showing up.
They're going to be at the praise event, by the way. Just saying, ladies and gentlemen, we got an event coming up. What a segue. The couple that got married said they were going to be here at this event. So if they just got married and they're going on their honeymoon later, but they're going to be at the October 10 event, Praise with Reason, with Rustan, David Wood, and myself and Tom, obviously. So we have very, very little tickets left, by the way. Seats are very limited. As a matter of fact, as we were talking, we got multiple purchases.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got to keep an eye on this because once we hit a certain number, I got to take this website down really fast.
Yeah, I think we're reaching the higher end of people we can allow at this point. So we at the beginning we were like, guys, sign up.
The beginning,
we're like, it's short. We're short on seats, but we were actually thinking like, dang, people come on, sign up. But now we're like actually short on seats. So
yeah, so I mean,
if you want to sign up,
we still have room. But my guess is today's Monday, between now and whatever, it's just Thursday. We're
I was thinking,
gonna hit capacity.
and I was thinking we probably have to cap it a little early. So if we have, let's say, 200 seats, we'd probably have to cap it at 180.
Yeah.
Because if we're expecting some walk-ins, then you got to leave some room for walk-ins there.
Yeah.
But I'm so excited about this event, man, and it's so cool that we're doing this in the middle of this whole weird revival kind of talk happening.
I know,
because
so cool.
it's like a cool event at a cool time. People are interested. It's happening.
And here's the thing, Tom. We didn't plan on that. It was so random.
Yeah.
Like we didn't do research. That. We literally sat down, you and I.
Yep.
I texted Ruslan. I looked at my calendar and I said, October 11 is when I'm available. Texted Ruslan and I said, Ruslan, you available October 11 for an event like this? And he said, no. He said, but I am on October 10. I said, okay, we'll do it on October 10. That's literally the way, like, with zero research, zero asking around whether this is and that, and then texted David Wood and said, "Hey, we're doing this thing. Ruslan's in. You in?" And he
gave this really long text.
David Wood loves emojis. Thumbs up.
Just
The
give it
big
thumbs up.
ones. The big ones. Not like reply thumbs up.
You're like, can we fly you out? Thumbs up.
I think
Do you want to be in a hotel? Thumbs up.
David Wood is a boomer, big time, because usually people will give you a thumbs up. They will like your comment.
Yeah.
He sends you a gigantic
Yeah.
thumb emoji.
Yeah.
That's how you know he's a boomer. He's I don't know, he's probably 50 something years old, so whatever.
How old is he actually?
He is. He's like 47,
No,
48.
he's not.
Yeah.
Really? I
Yeah,
thought
man.
he was in
David's
his 30s.
David's no man. He's 30s. You think
Really?
I'm older than David? Come on.
No, I would never think that. I mean, white people do generally look a little younger than us. Right?
Okay.
They look soft. They're
I'm not
nice and soft.
offended.
They're nice and soft.
Not offended.
Is WASF saying an
He
Orthodox
doesn't know.
revival, like actual Orthodox? Or
Hey,
like
how about this, Sean? Sean, how about this?
Oh, it's Sean.
Yeah. Hey, Sean, how about you go become Orthodox? I'll be very happy with that.
Yeah.
Huh? That's the challenge.
There's a huge Orthodox revival.
Leave the dumb atheism and become Orthodox.
Church attendance in the Orthodox Church has gone from 3 to 4 people.
Stop. This guy.
We have no more candles left in the Orthodox
This
Church.
guy.
We're at a shortage of wax and
Okay.
We have no more fire. We need There's so many people going to the Orthodox churches, there's not enough fire to light the candles. We are importing fire from Mexico.
No, say that in the Trump voice.
I get it. You could do that. I can't do this.
I went to church and they were out of fire, so I had to import it from Mexico. The Canadians didn't give it, so I had to make a deal with them. Jerome says elite pivoting ability. I do. That's true. We can turn anything into a conversation about the gospel. This time we turned it into the event. Tomorrow afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yes.
Tomorrow afternoon for us here on the West Coast of the United States. It is Monday. Tuesday afternoon.
By the way, before you say this might be perhaps something I'm more excited about than the
Than the
October 10
event,
event.
I know.
Yes.
Come on
this
now.
is true, honestly.
Come on. Tomorrow afternoon, Tom and I will be picking up, I won't give the location, we will be picking up Jerome from the airport.
JR.
Ladies
After
and
he called
gentlemen.
us a dinosaur. Like
He
5
called us
seconds ago.
dinosaurs.
Right.
We told him, I remember we had a stream here, me, you, Saad, Harut, I think.
Yeah.
And we said, one of these days, we're going to fly Jerome out here.
That's right.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, we meet Jerome, the great Jerome. Jerome, by the way, I still don't actually know what you look like. I sort of do, but like I don't know if you're like 6'8" or like 5'4".
We're going to show up with a big giant poster with your face on it that says, welcome, Mr. President of
What was the
Jabutistan.
country?
Jabutistan.
No, it was something else. It was something else.
What was it? It was
Jabutistan. Welcome, President of Jabutistan.
Jabutistan, bro.
Jabutistan. It's a Muslim country with ethnic Jews. Jabutistan.
Jabutistan. I'm dead. Okay. Wait, he said he's very small.
Oh no.
He's not like that guy. He's not long.
He's not long. He's very small.
Let's let Diavin finish this video.
All right.
Invites us into something larger. And you have the sense of, wow, there's something bigger that God is doing. And the excitement and the other sensations that the children feel there about the coming of Aslan. Can I just be honest? I feel something of that in my own heart. And I pray, God, send your Holy Spirit to do a new work in our day. You know, I love theology. I love complicated things, but sometimes it's pretty simple. You just pray that God would pour out his Spirit and move in a new way. And that's what I want to make. So more to come on all of this in 2025. And in the meantime, let's be praying.
How cool is that?
September 19th,
I love
2024.
Gavin says, I love complicated things because I love complicated things. But at certain times, I just go, dude, it'd be so cool for me just to be like, who wants to follow Jesus? And then 30 people say, I want to follow Jesus. And like, I don't have to do work of saying, let me tell you the difference between this and that and explain these complicated matters. Just
That's right.
give your life to Jesus, and it'll be good. Arnold said, and baptize them too. There's plans for that, but we'll explain.
He doesn't want us to baptize. He doesn't like us enough for us to baptize him.
Stop. Now he's going to feel guilty. I'm happy. I'm very
good,
happy.
bro.
I'm just overjoyed, by the way. Salwa says, haha, I'm 55. Boomers are older than 55. We know that. And that's why we're intentionally calling David Wood a boomer. Because he texts like a boomer. My dad's, how old is my dad? My dad's coming up to 80 years old. He texts like my dad.
Oh, he actually texts?
My dad?
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, my dad and mom, but like minimally.
Yeah, like periods and stuff. Do you get like a random
thumbs?
Thumbs, yeah.
It's like, when your kids start and then they don't know how to write. They just your kids send you.
You ever get space?
Emojis.
Do you ever just get space?
I've gotten that.
Okay, yeah. The space is the most epic one.
Bro, our friend Chris Khachik, his daughter, have you seen the text from his daughter?
Yeah, it's so good.
It's like this much emoji.
Yeah.
I would just delete it, man. I would just absolutely delete it. I'm like, stop doing this. I got like 8 pleases from my son the other day. Please, 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 please. And he wanted me to approve extra time for his game on his iPad.
Man, maybe you should give him some extra time in general because he's always asking for approval.
And no.
It's like that fake. Do you ever say no?
Yeah, 90% of the time I say no.
Oh, okay, good. At least that.
Yeah, 90% of the time the answer is a no to him saying, can I have more time? Because, it's set up on the timer, so he'll be like in the middle of a game, which I feel for him because he'll be in the middle of the game and the iPad just turns off.
Oh, that sucks. That's not cool.
Well, he's got to time himself later. Yeah.
One more thing Arnold said. He said a few comments back. He said, can't the growth and your experience be attributed more to God blessing Anchor? God has been consistently drawing people to Anchor since its conception.
So very good point. And this is why I said I don't know what's happening in Delaware, but all I can talk about is kind of our little community and then what we're seeing in our community. Now, I do think, because I speak to folks in different places and kind of what's going on with them, I do think it's larger and greater than what's happening with us. But it could be something, like I said, revivals could be happening in towns. Look, revivals can happen in families. Like somebody becomes a Christian and next thing you know, the parents, the kids, the grandparents, the uncles, they all become Christians. So I consider those, obviously we're not going to like write it down like the revival of the, Smith family. But revivals happen in all sorts of different ways. It could be that it's just happening at our church. I don't think it's just happening at our church because I talk to people.
But it could be simultaneously happening.
Yeah.
Like it could be that we just God ended up blessing our church at the moment that there's a revival happening.
Well, yeah, it doesn't have to be mutually exclusive in any way at all. It doesn't have to be mutually exclusive. It's cool to see what I'm perceiving at this moment is God is doing a special sort of thing. And I like it because I'm totally here for the ride.
Boom.
I'm absolutely here for the ride. Okay. Oh, yeah. Man. Do you have anything else to say about this?
No, I'm excited. But I just want to stress again the October 10th event. Sign up if you haven't. Come excited to learn. We're going to have some bomb dinner. We're going to have some amazing pastries as well. Take a short break there. Prepare you guys. You're not coming to school, by the way. Like, don't come with an attitude that is like school. We're gonna worship. Come with a heart open and prepared to worship. Because I feel like that's kind of been lost in this whole thing.
Does this look like a face that is excited?
That guy looks a lot like you. Is he gonna be there?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This is a very excited face to worship.
Yeah. That's what most people look like when I'm doing worship.
I'm like this guy.
Like most people look like Arthur. We want to get them to a David kind of look, and then when they're Ruslan, they're really worshiping.
This is like, this is cage stage Calvinism,
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, this is. I'm not very sure about my Calvinism. This is, hey, bro, I just became a Pentecostal.
Oh, I didn't know you were.
I just want to say that Ruslan's not even looking into the camera, which is weird.
Yeah.
Dave is looking into the camera, but he's got a terrifying face. It's kind of like it's look, from these two people, who's scarier? David would,
I mean,
100%.
No, I don't know. Like, you look like you're gonna kill someone.
Look at those
David
eyes.
looks like he's gonna put something on your permanent record forever.
Look at these eyes.
Yeah.
Right? This is pretend. This is normal.
Yeah.
Just saying. Love David, by the way. He's awesome. Even though. Thumbs up. Yeah, man, excited for this. Really excited. More so excited just to meet folks, get to hang out. Like, the way we've organized this event is not like other events that I've been to. And there's going to be lots of mingling. We have in-house Ruslan's book. He's just written, and he's going to, we're going to be selling those for whatever. It's cheaper than what it's sold on Amazon. But he's going to be signing those. And, we got picture stuff set up for people to take pictures, and red carpet, right?
Yeah. Only I'm going to be on the red carpet just walking up and down, though. Pisabi might be coming.
Yeah, Pisabi might be there.
Pisabi might be there. I mean, come on. Jerome's going to be there.
Jerome's going to be there. Man, we got everyone coming to town.
Beautiful.
We got everyone coming to town. This is exciting, bro. So, yeah, sign up. I think we might have gotten a couple of more signups.
Amazing. We got the Ruslan David Wood, president of Jehudistan.
Jehudistan.
Buddhist. It's Jews who became Buddhists and then converted to Islam.
But last time I said something else.
Yeah, that last time was pretty epic. I don't know how you came up with that. But
I don't know.
We got to go back in that video.
Does anybody remember what I said last time?
I kind of like Jehudistan. Let's stick with Jehudistan.
Jehudistan. And he's from Ethiopia. Like, with the oldest Jews.
Yeah. Jehudistan.
Oh, gosh. This has been awesome.
Jehudistan.
This guy said parental controls. That's right, Jerome. Parental controls. Because children need to be controlled. They can't just do whatever they want to. How about this gift I got for my birthday? I want to show off.
Beautiful. Oh, that was for your birthday. Okay.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Look at this, guys. Look at this. It's a clock.
Hmm.
This is a clock. But the time is from different books. Like, this one says heart rate 132, 131, 130, and dropping. She was walking south on Park Avenue in the rain. The time was now 11 past 3 p.m., which is what time it is right now.
Oh, that's from like.
And then it's
books.
from the author is Patricia Cornwell, The Scarpetta Factor. They're from books.
Oh, this is not just Christian books, though.
No.
Oh,
it's just books. It's cool. It's got this little cool dial here.
That's
high quality H2O. And yeah, the person who got this for me, thank you very much.
Are there quotes ever like inspiring and stuff, or it's just like random stuff?
It's random. It's just like circles. But it always has the time in there. Right? 2:30, whatever, however British people say it, 5:30.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it was. They said that the person who got this for me said that I'm very hard to get presents for, and they had to think a very long time to get this. So this is exciting. So we're gonna wait until it's on the minute it changes. By the way,
that's so.
It's
cool.
a new code every minute.
I wonder if it. Yeah, it's not like smart. So next year it'll just be the same things. Probably at the same
it is smart.
Oh,
it's connected to the Wi-Fi, and it just constantly gets uploaded with new stuff.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, now it's cooler, for sure. I thought it was just like those Bible verses you take out.
No. It's connected to the internet, so it's constantly updating it, which is very cool. Tom,
it's been nice, man.
You played golf today.
Yes, I did.
You did a stream today, and now you can Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, and I can go get yelled at by my children. Exciting times.
I should say something. We have a very special sponsor. Now, we've had a number of companies, local businesses, friends of ours,
Yes.
who've sponsored and kind of alleviated some of the financial burdens that have come with the event. But one of them specifically is doing a giveaway at the event.
Yes. So we can actually share that. It's
Can
fine.
we?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna do Simple Grill, which is owned by one of my good friends. He's an incredible guy, incredibly loving, hospitable. What's the word I'm looking for? Where he shares what he has, giving. He's a giving man, and so he's actually going to be giving away 5 grills for the event.
Hang on.
Pull it up. Oh,
Simple Grill,
that's the
ladies
Simple
and
Grill.
gentlemen.
It's an incredible grill.
I
guys.
have the Simple Grill. For those people who love making barbecue, and I mean steaks, shish kebabs, whatever, any one of those things, it does all of it. Look, it's got the little thing. You can put your burgers on there, cook it. It's travel size. You put it in this little bag. You're on the road.
Jerome, you might win
Yeah,
this
Jerome
and take
might
it back.
take this to England with
So
him.
the cool thing with Simple Grill is the owner of the company is really trying to make a part of the proceeds and focus of it is faith-based, missions-based, giving back to the community. So this we thought this would be a really cool, especially since he's a member of our church. It's not a random guy.
Yeah.
We thought it would be a cool opportunity, since we are cooking some steaks as well, to pull out the Simple Grill, talk about the mission, and also gift some away to the community. So it's going to be cool. 5 of you winning this pretty awesome grill. I'm excited for that. So thank you to Alvin. I think
This
we can say his
is
name.
really exciting, by the way.
That's cool.
Like seriously exciting,
Yeah.
because I've used it, and I've used it to cook Armenian barbecue on there, and we've used it. My brother actually used it we cooked 2 big tomahawk steaks on there. So it's small, but it's powerful.
Yeah.
And really, really fun.
Good stuff. So thank you to Alvin.
How is that fitting in my suitcase? It will guaranteed fit in your suitcase.
Easily fit. Easily.
No question about it. It's not big. That's why it's called the Simple Grill.
Yeah.
It's collapsible. You just take it with you, whatever you want, set it up,
Boom.
you get going.
Pop the legs open.
So we're excited. Excited for that, man.
Good stuff.
Okay.
All right.
With all that said, I might stream. I might just record a couple of videos on my phone and put it out there for the rest of the week. It is a packed week. We're going to see how many times I'm going to have to end up at the airport. Hopefully just once. We'll see. But yeah. And then we are recording the event. And those will come out later on. It's heavy though. Thanks, Saad. It's okay. Don't worry about it, Saad.
Ignore that part, everyone.
Yeah, don't listen to
It's
Saad.
not that heavy.
We'll have to ship
Saad just hasn't been working out for a long time.
yeah.
He's
It's
worried
not
about
heavy.
it.
Saad doesn't know what he's talking about. Can somebody block that guy? Trying to do advertising.
We might.
Trying
Hey,
to do
by the way,
advertising.
we're thinking about doing a live. I've talked to a couple people that could potentially do. So we might. I have to talk to you about this. We might stream it, but it's not. It would be specifically for people who have reached out and showed interest. So I'm like maybe. So
Yeah, we have to make that determination.
we'll make that decision. But
yeah.
because a couple people came up to me and they were like, "We'd love to watch it on stream." We
That's
won't be able
interesting
to
because
make
I
it.
didn't have anybody reach out to me.
So
And I told people multiple times, reach out to me if you want it streamed. So I'm looking out for my guy. I love the Simple Grill. Okay. Well, hey, Tom, thanks.
hey,
We're going to have a very, very fun week this week.
let's do it.
And
You
then
don't
rest.
want me to end with my rap?
Okay, go
All
ahead.
right, give me a beat.
How am I going to give you a beat?
Just put rap beat on YouTube, man. And he's calling other people a boomer.
Any beat?
Just put any beat, man. Put any beat. Let's go.
Hang on. Ooh, relax,
Give me a
bro. This
beat.
guy.
Give me a beat.
Is that good?
Okay. Yeah,
Wait, is that good?
that's fine. Whatever. I'll do it.
Hang on. I got to be on your side here.
Okay. Yeah. They said the church was sleeping, but God's been moving in the midnight hour. He always does his best work in the dark. Let's go. It's too fast. Can you give me a slower beat? This is way too fast. How am I supposed to rap? Did you put a rap beat?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me something slower, man. Because I was about to pop off. I might have just started my music career and then you just like... Okay. Why is that demonic Homer Simpson? Guys, this is Arthur trying to find rap beats. Okay, this might be... Alright. We need a revival, we need the flame. Spirit come down, we don't want to be the same. Hearts wide open, break every chain. In Jesus' name alone, lift up his name. Revival fire, light. Alright guys, sorry, this was it was ChatGPT. I just said give me a revival. I just said this is the worst lyrics. I didn't even read it. It's my first time. From the fields of Wales to the streets of LA, Holy Ghost powered, made religion shake. Edwards was preaching, sinners awake. Whitfield crying out, it's your soul at stake. Azusa Street flames where the Spirit poured. Every tongue confessing that Jesus is Lord. From the tents on the hills to the youth in the crowd, every generation still crying out.
Hey man,
hey,
I'm gonna tell Ruslan about this.
Ruslan, where you at, bro?
The diss track.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
bro, you didn't let the beat drop.
We don't need smoke. We need the cloud. We don't need hype. We need the sound. The Spirit groans deeper than 1,000 choirs. Hearts set ablaze with the holy fire. We've been distracted by screens and fame, chasing likes while forgetting his name.
Hey,
but
bro.
when the church gets low, he lifts her higher. On our knees, we will find that heavenly fire. Woo!
Yeah, very nice, very nice. Just stick to singing, please. Just let the rap for the rappers. Appreciate it. You're a cool guy. You don't mind making fun of yourself.
I was trying to drop the mic, but it's on a...
Don't drop the mic. Please don't drop.
It's on a stand. I can't drop.
Folks, we'll see you guys. God bless you. Take care and be well.